You know that feeling, right? When you're reading a book and a character just feels incredibly real, more real than some people you actually know. Well, imagine if that feeling wasn't just in your head. What if the characters a writer dreamed up literally refused to stay on the page? That's the chilling idea behind the play The Ghost of Ketchum, and it really dives into the haunting consequences of creation. I mean, just think about that for a second. What if the very people you invented, their heartbreaks, their secrets, their unfinished business, suddenly materialized in your house, demanding answers? This is the question that sets the stage for everything, and it is seriously unnerving. So our story kicks off with what sounds like an absolute dream come true for any writer. We meet this guy, Rex Taylor, who's working on a book about the one and only Ernest Hemingway. And he gets this once-in-a-lifetime invitation to go live and work in Hemingway's actual Key West home. I mean, it seems perfect, right? The ultimate chance to get inside the author's head. But as he's about to find out, he's not the only one in there. So Rex shows up, and his mission is purely academic. He just wants to figure out how Hemingway did it, you know? How did he create such vivid characters? He's greeted by the museum curator, Sarah Matthews, and everything seems totally normal. But right from the get-go, you can tell the house itself has a very different plan for him. The second he steps through the door, Rex feels it. The vibe is just off. The air is heavy, the silence is loud. He gets this feeling that this isn't just a museum, a building stuck in time. It feels occupied, like the walls themselves are breathing. And when Rex mentions how weird the place feels, Sarah doesn't comfort him. She doesn't give him some logical explanation. Nope. Instead, she drops this bombshell. Hemingway isn't just a memory in this house, he is a constant watching presence. And just like that, the trap is set. Okay. So from this point on, Rex's little research trip just completely goes off the rails. He starts hearing whispers at night, he sees shapes moving in the corner of his eye. It doesn't take long for him to realize, with total terror, that he is not alone. The house has become a stage, and a very dark performance is about to begin. And then it happens. The moment of no return. The ghost of Hemingway himself appears. But this isn't the literary icon we imagine. This is a haunted, broken man. And his laugh is just filled with this bitter tragedy. He looks at Rex and says, "The words, they keep us alive. They keep us here." But here's the twist. Hemingway didn't come alone. He's brought company. The play gives them his name, the Ruminators. And they are exactly what it sounds like, the ghostly forms of his most famous characters, all trapped in that house right alongside him, forever stuck and demanding some kind of resolution. And let me be clear, these are not your passive, float-through-the-walls type of ghosts. The Ruminators are awake, they are angry, and they are desperate. Every single one of them has a grudge, an unfinished story, and they think Hemingway, and now Rex, is the key to finally getting what they want, whether it's release or revenge. Just look at this lineup of tormented souls. You've got Catherine Barkley from A Farewell to Arms, still looking for the love that was ripped away from her. You have the soldiers, Nick Adams and Krebs, still fighting their inner wars. And Robert Jordan, who just wants his sacrifice to have meant something. It's like every major theme from Hemingway's work, love, war, trauma, meaning, has literally taken human form. And this quote, it says everything. The Ruminators aren't just characters. They are Hemingway's living, breathing regrets. They are the personification of his guilt, his fears, all the wounds that never healed, now given a voice. They were with him in life, and now they've followed him into death. So this is where we get to the absolute heart of the play. It suggests that Hemingway's genius, his incredible ability to make his characters feel so real, well, it became his own personal hell. They became so alive in his mind that the line between fiction and his reality just completely dissolved. The play lays it out as this terrifying four-step spiral called the writer's curse. It starts with the magic of creation. But then, those creations take on a life of their own. Soon they turn on their creator, haunting him with their problems. And in the end, the creator becomes a prisoner, trapped inside the very world that he built. So Rex, seeing all this, asks Hemingway's ghost how he could possibly live with the weight of all these souls. And the answer he gets? It's just devastating. The play makes this direct, horrifying connection. The psychological torture from his own creations was a burden so heavy, it directly led to him taking his own life. But the story doesn't just end there with Hemingway's tragedy. No, in the climax of the play, this supernatural burden, this immense responsibility for all these lost souls, it gets passed on. The torch is passed to a new writer, because the Ruminators need someone to give them the endings they never got. And this is the fundamental shift. On one side, you have what the spirits are screaming for: revenge, closure, any kind of ending to their pain. And on the other, you have what Rex has to do. He came here to listen and understand, but now he's being forced to write. He has to stop analyzing the past and start creating a new future. The Ruminators go to Rex and they lay it all out. They need a new storyteller, someone who can finally set them free. And Rex is faced with this impossible choice. Does he run screaming from this madhouse, or does he pick up the pen and take on a legacy that was never supposed to be his? And this is his answer. This is the moment everything changes. He accepts the burden, but, and this is so important, he does it on his own terms. He knows that trying to become Hemingway would just be falling into the same trap. Instead, he offers them the one thing he has: his own voice, his own understanding. The play ends with this incredibly powerful image: Rex sitting at that haunted desk, finally embracing this new role. And he starts to write, not as a biographer anymore, but as a liberator, using his words to finally, hopefully, quiet the ghosts that plagued one of the greatest and most tortured writers in history. So in the end, the play leaves us with this one big question. The Ghost of Ketchum is a ghost story, for sure, but it's really about the incredibly deep, and sometimes dangerous, connection between an artist and their art. It makes you wonder, for any great creator, where do they actually end and where does their creation begin? It's a pretty haunting thought to be left with.